Red alert!
Yeah, it's Friday, June 13th, 2025. I'm Tom King. This is the 4K Skywatching podcast live from Chandler, Arizona. This is probably the only thing of its type where I broadcast live footage, a collection of what I've captured sometimes previously. I break down anything that's in the news or in the media. And this is a no bullshit zone here. There's no bullshit here. There's no grifting here. And this is going to be straight up the truth of what is going on. Last week, I went through, kind of cleaned up my closet of folders of what I've captured in about the last 6 months of sky watching. And tonight, I'm going to do it with UFOdap captures, mainly from thermal cameras. I've focused my efforts on UFOdap, doubling up on that. I have brand new UFOdap software that Ron Olch sent me. I have the version 2.26 beta. This has a whole bunch of new toys and gizmos and whatnot in that. And I'm beta testing it on two different computers right now. And if I run into any issues, I write notes about that, send that back to Ron, so he can send that out before this goes out to all the people who have UFOdap software or they're using it for analysis. I'm a perfect person to test it. I'm really proponent and a person that pushes UFOdap software. While it's not perfect, it's getting pretty close. It is designed by Skywatchers for Skywatchers. The software doesn't cost a lot of money. You can use USB software like your own web camera. You can use it to look through old footage from other people. It's pretty much should be the industry standard, the gold standard for skywatching. So I use that quite a bit on my systems. I've went through a number of folders and found out what's good and deleted the bad stuff to free up room. After having thermal for about 1 year now, I'm getting used to the camera a lot. I'm going to tell you my favorite settings on it, of how I like to collect stuff and what I've learned. Now, when I got the thermal cameras, I admit that, hey, I don't know anything about thermal. I'm a rookie. I'm going to figure this out as I go. Now that I've had a year's experience and looking at thousands of folders and getting some strange captures and figuring out what we mainly collect, I can pass that information on to you so you can use that with your system. We're going to go through real quick what's going down here in the UFO lab right now. I have the 2K dome camera up. Sunset is coming later in the night. So when I started this Before it was at 5 o'clock, and it was the sun was going down. Now it's summer hours, and it is hot. It is goddamn hot outside. I think we're pushing, I don't know, around 103, 108. But by the time you get up and you got to do something, it's too hot. So anytime I have to do something, it's like at 6 in the evening or 7 or in the morning. I had an issue with the antenna. If you remember last week, I introduced virtual radar and how to use that. I had a USB, um, one of these little USB devices that's picking up the transponders from jets that are flying over. And I widened that, so now I have a wider area of the valley to use. Now, what I can pass along with this type of device is this is good for using for virtual radar. There is a limit of how far your antenna can go from these. Now, I'm not a radio frequency expert, so I contact the people who are, and I tap them for knowledge. So your antenna that comes out of here can only go so far before you start losing signal. I work run into this with the Droid when you're using DC power. Uh, the electricity um, it fades over distance versus where AC power it doesn't. So what I opted to do to this is to put this outside, not inside next to the computer, outside, and then use a 32-foot USB cable that comes out of the computer, goes through the wall, outside and up, connects to this, and then real close is the antenna system. So this is sitting out in the sun. This is working unbelievably at least 135-degree heat. It's real hot. So that's what I opted to do is to put this outside. So that's where I got with that, and I got more aircraft. So with that, I'm going to move on to the next piece of equipment here. On the NVR, we have the other 4K dome camera system. Looks like an airplane is going by right now. So let's go take a look at that. Yeah, it's incoming Sky Harbor traffic. Used to seeing this. So we have that up and running, but not everything is up and running here. Here's what's going on currently with the radar. I have the entire thing dormant right now. This is the radar view. As you can see, it's upside down. The payload is off. I took the payload down. The payload's sitting right now waiting for construction work. You can see some aluminum bars that I'm going to cut up, and I'm going to put the heading indicator on it, and then pop it back up on the roof. That's payload is getting pretty heavy. I almost dropped the entire thing taking it off. I was like, oh shit, I almost dropped it off. Maybe I should have my wife help me. But yeah, it's getting heavier. It always starts low and then it builds up. Hey, Truth Seeker, good to see you. You're the guy who got me down this rabbit hole. Tonight, I'm gonna look at. I got about 28 minutes of media we're gonna play. So we're gonna get into that. So the UFOdap here is waiting. It's waiting for upgrades. I did meet a neighbor of mine who stopped over. He has an antenna down the street. He's a radio guy, and he was like, "Wow, that's a cool mast." So I talked to him, named Tim. Need to talk to him some more. I want to tap the brains of these radio frequency guys and see why do they have antennas that go up 40, 50 feet in their backyard and have guy wires hold them down. You guys probably have some of these people too in your neighborhood, wherever you don't have a homeowners association. And my attitude is if you don't like it, then sell your house and go live in a cookie cutter home in a homeowners association where you can't even put up an American flag. Then you won't have any 4K skywatching neighbors. You won't have any ham radio operators, and you can be safe knowing the aliens are going to abduct you whenever they want, and there's no oversight because people like me aren't watching. Hey, Reality Check, good to see you too. I think I follow both of you guys on Twitter. So yeah, that's what's going on with the MVR. Let's go a little bit into UFOdap. This is UFOdap running. This is running on the Dome software right now. This is I'm trying to look for aircraft. This crashed earlier and had restarted. So that's one of the UFOdaps that is running. And then let's see here. We have the lower UFOdap. This is the lower one, and this one right now is doing thermal only. So I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna get into the weeds here of what this stuff is, what these tracking things are, and then we also have two of them running at the same time. So they're running on different machines. This is a beta version of it, so it has extra stuff. I'm going to show you all that extra stuff uh, on the show. So here is what we have going on tonight. The first thing we're going to get into is the strange UFO thermal captures. That is all my footage that I've collected, and I want to show you some of the weirder stuff that I've found. Then we're going to get into the new, there's a new Sphere video that dropped. I have a 4K version of it without any watermarks. I'm going to show you that. We're going to get into the Nellis video. I also have a 4K version of that. I have the best version of the Nellis video you're ever going to see. I'm going to play tonight. Then at the last part, disclosure is dead. It is completely dead on a congressional level. Just as I predicted, everything that happens with these Congress people is they're just making it appear they're doing something. It's political theater. Nothing's coming from them. You know where stuff comes from? It comes from people like me, people like you, people who filmed the Sphere video. It's coming from us, just individuals. Citizen science is where it's at because nobody can censor us. Our footage isn't classified. We don't have a skiff. We have each other. We have social media, which they can't censor and they can't control. Hey, we have some new people here. Visser, good to see you. I haven't seen you here before. But I always forget to say this. Probably going to go on some rants tonight. It's going to be some epic rants on the last part. So this is a PG-13 plus show. This is not Disney. All right. There's going to be a few F-bombs on here probably. But this is the absolute goddamn truth comes out of this channel, like it or not. So yeah, let's get into the media here. So with UFOdap, we're going to go back to the start of some of my collections with this, and I'm going to queue up the best of UFOdap here. And this is going to be an edit. It doesn't have any audio because these are surveillance captures, so I'm going to go over this right now. So this is basic UFOdap collections from my older camera. This is tracking a jet. And this is showing you that it does work when you have it dialed in right. It will see stuff. It did identify this as an aeroplane with 98% confidence. And it zooms in. This is another capture. And it does have AI, so it is pretty good. Not since it's a bird, because it's flipping around, but this is magical. We have this brilliant guy named Ron Olch, who is the creator of UFOdap, and we are goddamn lucky to have that man. Where would the UFO community be without him? So now we're going to start getting into other captures. So these are the known things. These are, this is not thermal yet, but we're going to get into thermal now. This is a hawk. This is a bird, and I can tell you with confidence that 95% of the stuff you're going to record is probably going to be birds, about 95%. Now let's start looking at the odd things that just don't fit into birds. So you have hawks, a lot of times travel in pairs, and they do circle. Now we're here to look at the weird stuff, the fun stuff that we can't explain. And this next video is going to get into it. I can tell you that filming in multiple filters, I prefer white hot over black hot or any other colors. Hot black is kind of murderous on the eyes after a while. This is a hot black capture of two objects traveling in formation. I'm guessing that these are aircraft. Now this is the This is the color version of the same video, and you can't see anything. So I'm kind of wondering why we can't see airplanes here. And here they are going the other direction. So I'm almost sure that what we're seeing at this point are aircraft. And these are stitched together captures. So sometimes the captures are short. Now this, what is this? This is hot white. See that object? It just shoots off. It just shoots off. Now, here's the same video with 5 second, 5 seconds in front of it. And let me explain what this means. With UFOdap, there's a couple of options that you have here, and I'm going to bring these up. Um, so when you're recording, there's an option that what you can do is down here. Let's see, am I on the right one here? Make sure I'm on the right computer. This is the lower computer. Right here is an option for recording, which is pre-detection recording, time in seconds. So you could leave it off, but I turn this on to max, to 5 seconds in front of it. And let me explain what that means, because when I get back to the clip, that's what we're going to be looking at, is that 5 second cache. I was the one who suggested this to Ron, that when we see a UFO and we capture it, what happens before it hit that bounding box and triggered a recording? Can we get that too, so we can see how it entered the scene? And I got that from my friend Chris Miller. Chris Miller has a Sony camera which has a function he calls lightning capture. So if you're filming and a lightning strike comes down, you hit the record button and it starts recording. But it was continuous recording before you hit the button, so that way it'll get the lightning. So it's perfect. So I thought of that. Wow, that's great. So Ron, the next iteration that came out, he put that in. He put it in that pre-cache recording, which is excellent. So now we can get 5 additional seconds. They need to wake the fuck up. They're all going to jump on the bandwagon. Like Popular Mechanics denies everything, and then when it's popular, they jump out. Oh, we were all for UFOs. Yeah, yeah, that's a whole other thing. I'll get into the fourth thing, but how much is that transmitter you showed? Uh, this device right here, you can get this for like, I think, 25 to 37 bucks off Amazon. They have an entire kit I bought that comes with the antenna, everything you need for like 40 bucks. Came the next day. Dirt cheap to start your own radar. Let's get back to the media here. So we were approximately right here. So let me speed this up a bit. So this is the pre-capture of that white object. So let's just let this play. So this object shot off, and there's some clouds. So it looks like it could have been an actual big object that shot away. So here's the pre-cache capture with the extra 5 seconds. The object comes up, stops, and then it shoots off. So this is the type of stuff I say. I don't know what that is. That it doesn't fit into the bird. This is the weirdest one that I've collected so far. This is stitched together from a bunch of different captures of the same object at the same time. This was an object that's collected on white hot. You can see bugs and stuff flying by. This is not close to the camera. I don't know what this is. It appears to be alive that's shot off. Now here's the clean version of it without the captures. So this object comes up, and it holds a hover. And then it moves around oddly. It does what one of the things of instantaneous acceleration on some of these, one of the observables that Lou talks about. So this thing is just kind of meandering, and I say, well, this is suspicious as hell. It's flying in Class B airspace around Phoenix. It needs radio clearance to do this. I don't see how this is a bird. I mean, you can see where it moves up and stops. But we don't know how far away it is because it's in 2D. That's the problem, is we just don't know how far away these objects are without clouds. And that right there is better than anything Skywatcher has put out. Now, here's the same type of object coming out of the clouds on Rainbow. So it's you can see after you start watching this, but this is whatever this object is. It's related to the same object in the past couple of clips. Now, is this a bird? How did the bird come out of the cloud? These clouds are up at like 13,000 feet. So it's very strange. This is one of the weirder ones. Here's another one. This object, hot black capture. Now, I thought this is an aircraft because this looks like a typical aircraft uh, that I see on here all the time, going about 270 miles an hour that's coming into land at Sky Harbor. It's about a mile up. But watch. Now it changes directions and does a zigzag here. That ain't a plane. Whatever that is, that's imitating its plane. It's blending in. It's not moving too fast. It's not doing anything crazy like some of the other ones are that draw attention to themselves. This is blending in. This type of stuff is kind of hard. These things are sneaky. Now, here's one that popped out of the cloud, shoots off to the upper 2 o'clock position. It goes back up in the cloud. And these clouds are over 10,000 feet. And a second later, it appears to the left, a mile to the left. Over there, before UFOdap could start a recycle, the black object pops out from under that cloud again. How do I know it popped out from under the cloud? Because on the color version of these videos, they can come in, it's a multi-spectrum camera. Here's the color version where it pops out under the cloud. And this is the other camera to the left where it popped out from under the cloud. So these objects come out of the clouds. So what that tells us is this thing's the size of a car. This thing is the size of a car. This is not a bird. So some of these objects are not birds. Kidding. These are the ones I look at. And I collect the ones that stop and hover, and the ones that are trying to imitate something else. There was one previously that tried to imitate a plane. I don't know what this is imitating, but I don't see hawks freeze in the air. They don't flap their wings, they kind of glide in circles. This isn't a hawk. This isn't a sparrow. This isn't a hummingbird. I don't know what the hell this is. So I'm showing this so hopefully that, again, it shoots off in the distance. Always away from me, not towards me. See that? That one did a 90-degree turn. Here it is again, and it shoots off. Here it is the last time again. It goes down, it shoots off. Interesting. Here is, this is going to be, I believe, a swarm in this one. This one's a hot black capture of these same type of objects. There's 2 or 3 of these now. And there is going to be some aircraft in here so you can get an estimate a little bit what we're looking at. These cameras were, at this time, bolted to the side of the house, the porch out by the pool, so that they weren't on the pan and tilt for me to move them. So this is just static captures. And UFOdap really, really shines. When the camera doesn't have to move, then it collects everything almost perfectly. So 2 of these things are just kind of playing around here. They're barely showing up on thermal at all, so they're a distance away from the camera. And you can see birds flying around in the foreground. So whatever these are, they're probably a mile away from the camera. So this is a continuous shot. A lot of this stuff all happened around the same time. Now, up in the bottom right is coming a jet that's taking off from Sky Harbor that's going to loop around. And we typically have Sky Harbor jets that are here are usually Southwest, Hawaiian, Delta, America Airline. So these objects are in the sky while this is flying around. So you can see that whatever these objects are, it might be the size of a car. Here's the same clip in color. So in the bottom corner, you're going to see the aircraft, or no, top up here, you're going to see the aircraft coming up, but we can't see what those objects are that are showing up there. So there is the same clip in white hot. So this was a dual capture in white hot and in hot black at the same time. So here's, I think this was the other camera. Sometimes I do two cameras at once with UFOdap. So this is a white hot capture along with a black hot capture. So I think there's going to be another jet coming in here, and then this is going to go and do a split screen. This is raw footage right out of the camera that's been edited together and then upported to 4K. Now, we have yet to see a single thing from Skywatcher put out. Everything they put out are compilation videos. You don't know when they were shot. They don't have the time and date. We don't know if they're old videos or new videos. They don't put out nothing worthy of scientific study. So far, the only thing they put out that's even worth looking at is a Tic Tac, and the rest of their stuff for balloons and birds. So these white objects, or white hot capture objects, are kind of flying around. And what's interesting is they're kind of going around the speed of what the aircrafts are. So when you see an aircraft flying by, they're going about 350 miles an hour to take off. And these objects you see flying around the screen are going the same speed. So they're stopping and then going 300 miles an hour and stopping, changing direction, 300 miles an hour. Here comes a jet taking off. Let's go. You can see the jet over in the right corner. That's going 300 miles an hour. It's going at about the same speed these objects are. Could you imagine the jet just stopping and then starting? So this is the white, the hot white capture on the right, and then in a little bit it's going to sync up on the left with the other camera that was recording too. Now, we're going to look at a video here. It's going to be after, I think, a couple after this, where these things are just flying way, way, way faster than this. So what do you guys think? Uh, you can leave your comments here, and I'll pop them up on the screen here in a minute. Or if you're watching this on a replay, you can leave them in the comments. Now, some of these, you see the birds flying by in the foreground. There could be one or two of these that turn out birds, but there's no way all this stuff is. There's some there. These are the items that are beyond the reach of the color camera to even see. So they may be only visible in the infrared area. But these are the type of things, one of the type of things that I like to study and try to find out, can I get better imagery of these? Is there a way to solve this? The UFO community has to, I mean, the UFOdap Discord community has probably about 100 people that have the same UFOdap software. Many of them have this type of thermal camera, and depending on the conditions of where you set this up, you should be seeing stuff like this too. I don't think whatever I'm capturing is just localized here to the Phoenix Valley. This has to be all over the place. This is global. Just because UFOs are reported more in the United States doesn't mean it's only the United States. I think that was one side with you. All right, now let me do a little bit of adjustment here. Get this one. All right, so this one here, this is something I found just a couple of days ago. I don't know what the hell this object is, but it's moving around at about 1,000 miles an hour if it's where the plane is. So I've re-queued this up and I reframed it, so we're going to continue forward with that video. Something black here pops up. And I call this one the cursor because this thing moves around fast. I was thinking, is this a bat? Here's the clean copy. Is this a bat moving around? I know it's not a hummingbird. I've seen hummingbirds and they don't look like this. So there's some more captures of whatever the hell this is. This thing is goddamn fast. Those other things, if this is a mile away from the camera, then that thing's the size of a car and it's stopping and starting and it's moving at thousands of miles an hour. People always say, where are the things that do right angle turns and instantaneous acceleration? If you tell me to go watch the 4K Skywatching podcast, we have that. So, I mean, look at how fast that thing is moving. I'm thinking it's alive. That has to be, I'm so skeptical, this has to be a bat, but I just don't know what in the hell that thing is. This is probably going to be the clean version of the same thing. Now watch it jump down instantaneous. I'm going to rewind that. And it's at the top of where the timestamp is, and it jumps down about a mile within a second. And also its thermal signature went off and reappeared. What the hell can do this? Watch this. Up by, which says 9:30, and it jumps down. Boom, it's down there instantly. One thing I seem to know about the UFOs is they like trollish behavior. They like to get you when your battery's about dead or your camera's out of focus or your tire's flat or something's wrong. Now this is a recent capture from this week. Now, here's a white hot object, and look, the tracker lost it, and it's cruising it at the very end. It kind of turns down, and I don't know if that's a plane on that one. So that was something recent I put in. And that's pretty much the collection of a whole bunch of weird thermal captures. It gets weirder and weirder. Just when I thought, okay, maybe those things in the other clip that are swarming around the plane, let's say the bird's off in the distance, then what the hell is the cursor thing moving around like this? Now, when you use this UFOdap system, you can end up in the morning having hundreds of folders from one night. So then I'm running this on two machines, right? So this could be overwhelming. Going, I have hundreds of these folders. So what do you do? Sometimes people just delete them to save drive space. But you could be deleting something awesome. I mean, the cursor thing was sitting around a folder for 6 months. And I went back and looked at it and went, oh, this is interesting. I'm going to pull this out and put it on the shelf. Rob G., it's good to see you on the podcast. Thanks for stopping by. Did your show on Spaced Out Radio. Had a good time on there. And welcome to the 4K Skywatching podcast. Could it be a bug in the enclosure? Well, the thermal enclosure is right next to it. The bugs that go by the front of the thermal, they're not a solid, let's say, if we're using hot black, for example, they're not a solid hot black. You can kind of see they're out of focus in a way. It has to be kind of a distance away. When a hummingbird comes up, they come up real close to the camera. They kind of whiz, hover, and then split. So they do behavior like that, but they don't sit there and meander for a long time. Whatever I think I was capturing was a distance away from the camera. On a couple of the instances where they have clouds and they pop out of the clouds, well, in this case, I know whatever the object was 2 to 3 miles from the camera. So it had to be a pretty large object. So in those cases, I know they're not birds. I am not going to be able to, with this system, to film a bird pop out of a cloud 3 miles away. There's no way it has any type of resolution like that. But these are great questions. The skeptical questions have to be brought up first before you roll everything out on each clip to see what's remaining. Yeah, there's different. I noticed that what I'm capturing here is different than what the Tedesco brothers are capturing on the East Coast. Some of the objects might be the same, but I've seen some stuff that they're straight up capturing that I'm not seeing here at all. I'd love to see. It's a ring camera. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. These things have trollish behavior. So that's something to look for too, because think about this. A bird can't troll you, right? A balloon can't, a grocery bag can't. Uh, An intelligence can. An intelligence can troll you. So birds are going to have no idea they're being collected or grocery bags. And speaking of balloons and grocery bags, I have not been seeing hardly any of that stuff anymore. I think there's a helium shortage, which has resulted in people just not uh, buying balloons and throwing them up willy nilly. The amount of balloons I'm seeing is pretty low. The skies around here are pretty clean, so when I do see something, it's usually a bird, an aircraft, or sometimes UAP. Um, so let's look a bit into what the UFOdap system can do here. I'm going to bring up the lower one, and I'm going to show you the new stuff that is in here. So this is the Optical Data Tracking Acquisition Unit, the OTDAU, version 2.26 beta. All right. So let's get into what this has. So let's go through the menu system here. So this is how I have this set up. I have the same camera on the wide. You can select your camera. That's how that works. That I do for the telephone. So what happens is I end up with this one here gives me the ones with the overlay. This one here gives me the clean version without anything. I don't need zoom because the camera can't zoom. It's fixed. I don't need pan and tilt. It's fixed. This is the IP address you're going to want if it's on the same computer. Now, if this is not on the same computer and I'm going to bounce it up to another one, then I put in an IP address like 192.168. Whatever this computer is. And then the port number. You always want to have different port numbers. On both computers, I'm running port 5300. Let me see, make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, you can open a video file here to test. So you can open up videos and run them through here. That's what I should do. I did that lately. So this is your camera system. So check this out. There's new stuff in here. By default, it records an AVI, but that records a lot of file space. So I put in MP4. I suggested that the RAW, and you put it in. We are using the RTSP driver system, which you see here. It also has HTTP, AVI, USB. DSLR is a new one, and PUT. DSLR is a new system that Ron is supporting. So I have PT capable turned off and reverse motion turned off because I don't need that here. Now this has a assisted camera configuration. When I hit that, it's going to bring up this screen. And then I'm going to hit this, and this is what you can use to help you if you're having troubles getting your camera in here. Now this probably screwed everything up, but that's all right. So this shows you the camera, the model number, serial number, frames per second, and everything. You can hit accept, load it in there. Then they have DSLR configuration. Now this is new. This is for DSLR cameras. So I haven't messed with any of this. So this is like if you want to put maybe, say, a P1000, I'm guessing, or a different type of camera like that. So it's more than just Daewoo cameras and hike vision. So that's what you get on this particular screen. On the pan and tilt here, this is where you're going to hook up, if you have a pan and tilt system, your driver, COM port, baud rate, IP address, port number, username, password, and all that. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit about the pan and tilt that Ron is going to be offering. Tracking system. This is how it figures out what to track. Your minimum time. This is all default, so I'm not using anything other than the default. You can change these settings. If you don't like bugs being collected, you can adjust these. I played with these. These are you should mess with each one of these to learn more about what your unique capturing system does. The touring here. This is when you have a pan and tilt camera. You can tour it around. Say, I'm going to follow the moon and move around, or I want to keep a certain area under surveillance. You can set that here. Uh, Recording. Now, this is the recording options here. I have it recording until it disables, or you can put manual. I'm using the wide text, so it records the wide and the telephoto frames. You can record the pan and tilt values to a CSV. This is a new one, save a JPEG and digitally zoomed each time. Now, I was using that, but it also, I had some problems where it locked up. These are new ones over here, DSLR camera shutter speed release and frame interval for captures there. This is the 5-second pre-cache I have loading. Uh, Here's a new option we have that is just coming in this version. Automatically delete paths with linear paths. So I think that's not to clutter up the screen. Now this is something for once I didn't ask for. I don't think Ron put that in. And there's audio options here that I don't use. Going along, we have analysis here. We have object identification. That brings up this screen. And these are the options that I have. Enable real-time tracking. So as soon as it's done recording, AI tries to figure out what it is. Enable modification of folder names to include the ID. What that does is it renames folder bird plane, if it figures out a bird plane. Enable YOLO. That means you look only once a day or night. Object identification, slower than SSD. Look this up. This is stuff you got to look at. I didn't know what the hell that is. Single shot. So these are different AI systems for capturing. Enable nighttime aircraft identifier. End of file analysis. So what this means is 50% confidence it's a bird or a plane. So you can raise it up to say 90 or whatever. You can also select the folder and have this run through it. All right, so back to analysis. We have spectral analysis here. That's for people who have spectral lenses. We have sharing. Oh, check this out. All right, so they have, this was in here before, send an email. Now this is new, upload data. Upload data to this. So this is one of the things Ron's been talking about for a while that is finally getting put into the software, where you're going to be able to upload your saves to a central repository. So anyone who's using the UFOdap stuff, instead of us, say, sharing it on our podcast, sharing it on the Discord or social media, we can upload it to this UFO data place. Wow, whoever there, I don't know who's, I look up who is the person who's going to get this. You're going to get a lot. I mean, I don't know if they're going to upload hundreds of these folders of crap to look through and delete, or if they're just going to upload the good stuff, like, you don't bother. I haven't figured out how this works yet, but this is all new, and I think it's operational from what Ron told me. So you're gonna come in here. You're gonna fill out your name, your email address, your sensor. That's probably gonna be your camera. Your types of sensor, your file. That's gonna be, here's where you're gonna upload your whatever type of file that you will send it. If you're using mission control, which I have, and I would use my mission control folder here and upload that too. Now, keep in mind, you're uploading your address. OT group. So this is going to be from your OTDAU group. So here's a new folder. This folder wasn't here before. Uploads. So probably that folder. And then if you're using 2 cameras like I am, your decimal start time and stop time. I'm not sure with that, but Ron will have all this. So you can submit it, withdraw it. So this is where we're going to upload it to UFO data. Man, I can't wait. I can't wait till that's working. So we have display options here. Some of this stuff's new. Some of this was before. Here's where you can scale it to your screen. I never really got this to work with mine. Here we have display path. Show path is a sequence and thumbnails instead of a line. This is brand new, so I have that turned on. And this is a handoff calibration. This is if you want to go to dark mode. Target simulator. I accidentally turned this on and it freaked me out. What that does is it puts a simulated target moving across the screen so you can have UFOdap collect it and study it, and then you can dial in your system. So this is something you might want to use when you first get it. And then along with setup, this is all new here too, or some of this is. I don't use this stuff on this particular camera because this is a fixed thermal. So this is where you would have your slave. So let's say you're using the all-sky camera and you want to hand it off to another camera. This is where you would set that up. Some of this stuff here was already in here. You have enable sun avoidance, enable auto cruise, enable nighttime background suppression. I'll have to look at the manual when you update the manual to see what all this does. I use the stuff that pertains to me. Auto starts to turn this on automatically, help show you your license and about. So that's a quick walkthrough of that. Now let's look over here at what's going on here. This is a raw feed, and the raw feed is from this box. You have a telephoto. It hasn't seen much yet. We have the tracking there. We have the path. So what this does here is, I'm not sure, but it's putting these circles on the screen. Up here, you can see an aircraft icon where it zoomed in. So what this is showing is, instead of a path, a green line, we're seeing aircraft here. We're seeing little symbols of this. So these are most likely aircraft. So if I go in these folders and I look through folder 3, I'm going to find this aircraft. So this is great. Now folder 2, I don't know. Don't know. So folder 2, we want to take a look at. So as you're going through these folders, which can number into the hundreds. Now we know folder 4 has aircraft, folder 3 has aircraft. This is a great update. I was showing on the last 4K Skywatch that you want to use these paths to ignore the straight lines, the aircraft, and look for the zigzag ones. Those are going to be birds, bugs, UAP. So this was a great improvement upon that. I don't know if the software is stable. It's privileged to even test it, so I'm going to give my feedback to Ron. Robin Zadell experienced fluid-like behavior, lifelike, man-made, anomalous. Yeah, the movie The Thing, where the thing is imitating people. Well, these things are imitating our birds, our aircraft, our balloons. I even got something trying to blend in like a grocery bag. I zoomed in, it looked like a white disc, and it took off. So yeah, this is, to tell you the truth, there's days when I just want to quit. I just want to quit this. And I don't mean quit Skywatching. I mean, I have so much money in this to stop. I just mean quit going public with what I'm doing and just go underground. Because half of what I'm doing is, this is underground right now. I'm live, and this broadcast is underground. There's 13 people watching it. Nobody gives a shit about science. Everybody wants whistleblower gossip. They hope that some dumb congressperson can get these classified videos, the tens of thousands of them released. That's not going to happen. Or they want whistleblower gossip. Just look at Matt Brown, just dropped some weird symbolism, and everybody's going to town trying to figure out, what does this mean? Is this, he put you on a wild goose chase. Why the fuck aren't you watching the goddamn sky and doing something yourself? I see Chris Bledsoe is sitting around, and there's all these people that pay to show up at Skywatching with him, whether it's free or a gathering, and they're waiting for him to summon the shit. Why don't you do it yourself? It's like 95% of ufology is waiting for someone else to do something. It feels like there's a covered wagon, and there's 95 people sitting in the covered wagon and 5 people pushing the damn thing, and the rest of them won't get out and help push. That's why I want to quit sometimes, because these things are all over the damn place. They're there to be seen, and hardly anybody's doing jack shit about this. This is like 100 people doing something, and 10,000 people studying what the 100 people do. So it's frustrating. It's frustrating. I love what I'm doing. I love all this gear. I love my lab. I love my droids, my electronics, my friends I made. Well, it's goddamn frustrating watching a cult member like Chris Bledsoe and his cult swallow up everything. Every fucking sighting he has is debunked. As an aircraft, as a space station, doesn't deter him because people like this don't know no shame. He makes all these predictions. What's gonna? I mean, now we're at war. Israel's at war. Nothing's gonna happen, and he'll claim, "Well, this was predicted." Well, this has been predicted forever. So it's just frustrating watching this bullshit go straight to the top, and science is way on the bottom. And all you guys watching are in the same boat I am too. You watch all this stuff. Yeah, it is. It's fucking frustrating. You could you could do it whatever. You could have a smoking gun, you put it on social media, no one will watch it. You put a bullshit from Chris Bledsoe of the fucking International Space Station going over. Contact in the desert was debunked easily. It was a plane from flight radar. But you know what? Same people go out and sucker up for the next one. I mean, he's at cult level. Fuck it, I'm saving this shit for the end. So thanks, Peter. Yeah, it's frustrating. Doing the groundwork is it's fun when discover. I was going through hundreds of these UFOdap folders, deleting bird, aircraft, and then I found this cursor one. What the hell is that? I'm sitting around for folders at months. I still have hundreds, maybe thousands of these folders I got to go through. Who knows? It could have a really good capture in there waiting to be found and then showed, or it could be crap to be deleted. But there's gold mined in the sky to collect. It's up there. We just got to do the homework, man. Got to do the homework. Got to get the 95 people off the covered wagon and start pushing and get the fuck off and start pushing in the back. Yeah. All you guys are in the same boat I am. It's frustrating. But, all we can do is forge ahead. That's all we can do is continue the science, continue the capture. So let's keep this train going here. So that was the strange captures in section 1. Now, this orange disc that I captured last week, that's kind of screwed my head a little bit. I'm wondering, I've never really seen it before. I mean, now I'm getting, because of the 4K or the 2K dome as 45 power zoom, I can go past 25x, which I've been limited to in the past, and I don't have autofocus issues. So now I'm zoomed in usually 25, 30 power. And then I'm having these discs flying by, and I'm getting structured crap instead of a few pixels. So I'm wondering, how many of these do I have? How many? I captured it twice in 5 months, just when I happened to be watching the feed. So this kind of made me think, how much of this stuff do I have sitting around on these NVRs? How many of these orange discs are here? So what I did is I started doing some extrapolation of this with ChatGPT, and let me show you the numbers here. So this orange disc that flew by last week. Now I've seen this twice in 5 months, and just happened to be looking. So how many times have I actually captured this? That's what I'm wondering. How many times have I actually captured this? So let's look at this. Let's look at some stats here. I currently, let's say I watch that one camera, 1 hour a day, 30 days. I caught it twice in 150 hours of footage I've watched. So in 5 months, it's 50 hours. Means I've caught, let's say, that orange disc once every 75 hours, right? So let's say we're going to go this with the baseline here. So if I increase this and I watch all day, instead of just 1 hour, watch all day, times 30, 360 hours a month, based upon one UFO per 75 hours, means that sitting around on this NVR, or about 5 of these a month. So that's once a week. So that means whatever direction I happen to point, and it becomes like a straw looking up. You're not seeing the whole sky, you're seeing a portion of it. That thing happens to fly through from left to right, go right through the middle, and once every 75 hours that happens. So if I were to save all my footage and sit here and somehow watch it, it's impossible. Watch all day, I'd get about, one a week. So continuing on, so that's a baseline, about one a week. So let's say I put up 20 cameras, same zoom, random placements. I've captured more sky. Every one of these captures 12 hours a day, and there's 20 people looking at 12 hours a day. So here's what that comes up to be. The estimation of that, if I had 20 of these up, I'd get per month 4.5. With this new math, I would have 95 captures a month, or 24 a week. 24 of these a week. That's what the math turns out to. Because there's no way that I just put the camera up and just happen to capture it. This thing's got to be going where the camera isn't, in other directions. So if I put 20 cameras up, 20 people watching every minute of that thing's all over the fucking place. What that means is we have heavy UAP traffic extrapolating the data from those two sightings. Just at that orange disc. That doesn't include the fucking jellyfish, flying humanoids. That doesn't include these orbs. What the fuck is on the thermal thing that's flying around the cursor? That was in between these orange disc captures and whatnot. So there's a lot of stuff up there to be had. What's the UFO community doing? Sitting around waiting for someone to figure it out. Fucking lazy. Fucking lazy. God damn. There's a lot of stuff going on. What do you guys think? Does that math, Truth Seeker, does that make sense for that math? I didn't see that. Did Bob actually say they were angels? I'm sure Chris Bledsoe would say they're angels. But, I really looked into the Chris Bledsoe stuff too much until recently. And then I started looking, and I can't find any good footage he has. I've seen some of his orb footage that was on the ground, and it's all out of focus from what it looks like. Because they're all big balls of light that haven't been focused onto a pinpoint. It's kind of disappointing that a guy is getting this much coverage and press with bullshit. And then he's mixing religion directly into it. This is the worst case I've ever seen in ufology. With mixing. You don't mix politics and ufology. You don't mix religion in ufology. You don't mix the sexual identity stuff here. And man, you don't mix none of that. But this guy's doing it. This guy's doing it. So that's the extrapolation I have of how many of these orange discs alone. And I don't know. It's the orange disc, the thing I got on thermal that comes up, pops around. I don't know. I don't have enough data collection. As I collect more data, we will get more data on that cursor, more data on the things that pop around and fly around. And hopefully you guys see it too. And UFO data with uploads will help solve what the hell these things are. Because it's not just, Arizona is one of the biggest hot spots that you hear in the media. But we don't have many people doing enough work here to resolve what the hell's flying around in the sky. So we're going to get past the first section, and then we're going to move into this Spear video. A new Spear video came out of Colombia, and I scaled this up to 4K. So let's check this out. I was going to stabilize it. I didn't have time. It's already done by the people. If you haven't heard about it, this is the Bugosphere that was flying around in video. Apparently, it hit an electrical wire, dropped, and they collected it. And unfortunately, Jaime Maussan's looking at it, but so are other people. So let's look at the new Spear video. Oof. Now, we say all the time, don't shoot at these things, but that thing, I think I would have, if I had a pistol on me, I would have popped a couple of rounds on it and see if you can hear bing, bing, ricochet off of it. When it's that close, and we already have one example to study, that is clearly, you can see the lines on that thing. That is clearly the exact thing that the bugosphere is, with the lines going across on the body. So either this is a great fake or it's CGI. Now, I did have some problems stabilizing it. It skips in the beginning of the video. It skips. That could be, there could be reasons for that though. I have videos that come out and it skips a little bit. Um, but I don't know. Now, at this time, I can rest assured that all those people with over 100,000 subscribers on their podcast have booked a plane and they're on their way to study. Just kidding. None of them are. They're all sitting around there collecting AdSense money. None of them are. Most of these fucking people don't even leave their house. They just sit around collecting checks and shoveling bullshit online. This could be it. If we want any type of decent disclosure, it could be these mummies. It could be these spheres, these videos. Not just this guy, but these sphere videos are showing up all over the planet now, and they're showing up low. They're showing up in the daytime. These spheres could be what I'm capturing on thermal. I don't know. But this is popping up. Now, if this Yimba, whatever this new video is, if this is fake, then this is pretty well done, because it looks like a practical effect to me. It doesn't look like CGI, but we really, really can't tell anymore because we've crossed the Rubicon with AI. We just can't tell what the hell's real and what's fake now. There's so many videos that are flooding social media of Bigfoot, of Star Wars, you name it. I mean, even Disney suing, or suing one of these AI companies again, or they'll just buy it. They could just sue the company for so much. They just give me the damn company. You can't afford our lawyers to defend yourself. So what do you guys make of these fears? Yeah, we should keep religion the hell out of ufology. The worst thing we need to do is to mix one of the world's religions into it, because if we put one of them in, the other ones are going to say, what about my religion? It's got to be wrong. Do you really think aliens have a religion? That they give a shit about the Quran, the Bible, whatever? No. They predate all that. They could be responsible for it. Yeah, Dan records a lot of stuff. He's probably like 20 miles to my east here in the valley. So he's at the right place, Phoenix. And he does have UFOdap. He does have UFOdap. I don't know if he has the software. He's got a camera I'm going to have him set up. So he can start his data collection. And I'll show you a little bit. We'll get into Ron's site here. Yeah, now, who was this guy? When it gets to this level of a case, got to have a passport, fly down there, interview the person. But a lot of this is probably coming through Jaime Maussan, unfortunately. And then we're kind of screwed with him. I've met him before he turned into a droopy dog, Jaime Maussan. One of the issues that when you're a big ufologist with a big name like that, and you're in this field a lot, you're going to go through so many cases that some of them are going to fall apart. And then that's egg on you for some reason. Why is it egg on you if that case falls apart and it's phony? Well, it is if you say it's real. if it's real. That's kind of like when a homicide investigator, a cop investigates a homicide, and that homicide goes sideways. Is that on the cop? Same type of thing. No, no, I did not hear about that. Fill me in. I want to hear about the sarcophaguses. Does that have to do with the mummy? I mean, man, I don't have a passport, but maybe I need to get one. Hey, there's a link here. You guys can click on it. If I click on it, it'll screw up my show. Uh, there is a link. Truth Seekers channel supporter. Uh, uh, this is a approved F word channel. The F word's not banned here. This is not the 700 Club. That's for damn sure. I'll help you get all that straightened out. Uh, Tomorrow I'm going to go to Shields. I'm going to buy a new weapon, and then after that, sit in the pool, and then we'll see what happens. Uh, oh yeah, before we get too far, I want to show you UFOdap site. So speaking of Ron, this is a UFOdap credit. It's a data acquisition project. That's what DAP stands for. And here is where he has his website. And this is our Discord. So join it. If you want to see good UFO DAP footage, excuse me, join this Discord. There's a ton of footage from our collective UFO DAP members on there. You can spend a great time looking at the project site. Check this out. So this is, he sold at least 117 of these. And there's a number of these. I was looking through the map here. There's one at Catalina Island, thank God. So, but what's it doing? What's it doing? This is where if these guys, everybody on here, is one in here in Phoenix. I'm looking for my state. Sorry. If all these guys upload their footage, we can get somewhere. There's a guy here in Chandler. That's not me. One of these is me though in Chandler. Let's see. It's a bunch of California. And this is $99 or $95 software. This doesn't break the bank. I mean, if you get off the pot and do something is what I tell people. Not you guys watching. You guys watching already doing shit. I'm talking about people on Twitter. There's one in Mesa. Yeah, these are around. Now, he gives a brief overview of the technology here, all the sensors. Now, this is the mission control. You don't need this. This is optional. Of course, have all the stuff. Now, here's the R&D. Here's the spectral lens that you can get and bolt onto a camera, and that's to get. I should probably do this to collect spectral imagery of this, but I already got a lot of cameras. Here's a weather station, but I don't know if you need that if you have the mission control. Here's a Hacker RF1. You can get that here, or you can get that off at other places. Now, this is new. Ron is offering this. This is a pan and tilt head. Now, if you look at it, that's weatherproof, man. That's fucking weatherproof. And I'm guessing this port here will go into probably, I'm guessing, USB or something into a computer so it can be controlled by UFOdap. So this is coming if you can't get it already. So Ron hasn't just put this out and gave up. He keeps working on this. Here's your downloads for different guides and data sheets for different cameras. News, get involved. Now, he has the other site, which is where you shop. And this is where you can get software. The two pieces of software. This is the optical tracking software that I'm using. And this mission control is only needed if you are going to use a mission control system. Now, he's got a number of cameras here. I was looking through here today. He's got some ones I just are new to me here. Now, he has this bullet camera. Now, Dan, is this the camera you bought? I think he showed me a picture. It looked like one of these. He's got different pan and tilt cameras. I have something like this one. I got a Lorix version of, I think, of that one. I also have this one, the All-Sky camera. Now, this is a thermal dual optic that he's offering. That's pretty good price, $520. Now, if you look at eBay, the lowest I've seen is 400 used. So if you can get one brand new from Rod for 500, that's a good deal. Here's another model of it. And these are the type of thermal cameras that I am using. I'm using it's one of these Yahoo ones, but it's one like this. So you got these different cameras there. It's got different mounts, and the Discord system has all different types of mounts that we show how we mounted these. That's the computer system for mission control. So if you need something, you can get it from Ron. If you don't want to get from Ron, you can get it off Amazon too. But if you buy it from Ron, then it helps him what he's doing. Because this is he could just say fuck it and leave, and we have the software or whatever. We are lucky to have this guy. If we had 20 guys like this working on the software, not that we really need it, but if we had 20 software engineers like this doing this, everybody contributes. It doesn't matter. You do not have to have a degree in college to participate in this. You don't need to be an electrical engineer. You don't need to be a computer guy. You don't need to be a nerd. You could be Johnny off the street. You need a camera. You need the software. You need the wherewithal to keep doing this and doing this and doing this. So you need the two things that I'm blessed with: dumb luck and persistence. Doing this over and over, and with time, these things are going to come. When you study them, they will study you. Because there's like 8 billion of us. Most people are hand monkeys. They're looking at their phone. They spend their whole life doing this. But there's maybe like 100, maybe 1,000 of us. They go, I know you're up there. We're looking for them. Now, if you were these intelligence and you were looking down and studying these planets, you've been here for a while, and you're watching these 8 billion people somehow, you have your own alien UFOdap watching these people. Wouldn't you be looking at these people studying you? This is almost like programming a video game and studying the things you program, going, do they know they're in a simulation? Do they know they're just characters in my little world I made for them? Is this just a simulation the aliens are running? What I do know is if you take some time with them, they're going to take some time with you. I'm not living here because I just willy-nilly wanted to come here. I was living and doing my own thing in South Dakota, hunting and fishing like anybody else. And I got abducted a couple of times, and one of them wasn't an abduction. It was a dream of coming to a big town like this, and a huge craft flew over. That was 94 when that happened. I ended up filming the Phoenix Lights in 97. I didn't even think about this till 2019, about that dream. Now I'm thinking it really didn't come true. The part that in that dream was Independence Day size craft, 75 miles long, the whole fucking city. We're talking straight out Independence Day. And this happened before Independence Day movie even came out. So I think that's still going to happen. I like making predictions. Maybe it won't happen in this lifetime, but if there's some type of thing that comes out, it's a whole, we will not go to work anymore. This economy will be shot. What will we do going to work if we have UFOs parked over our cities that are the size of the city? That's going to upend society. That's what happened to me. So I'm here contributing, and I don't know. I'm just another dumbass with more money than brains sometimes. Hey Don, how you doing? Yeah, what do you think? Now, if they fake this, okay, they would have had to. If it's a practical effect, we're talking about the sphere here. They would have had to recreate the sphere, which looks like maybe they did. Uh, but if you're a prop guy, prop guys can put stuff together. You could paint. You could paint, say, an equivalent soccer ball, the chrome. Drill some holes in it, put some string through it. Have two pool poles that go up 40 feet in the air with some wire on it. Slide it around. Might be able to pull something like this off. Well, why? For what ends? You got to look into motives sometimes. This is why you have to investigate the camera person. This is the level of investigation where, when back in the day when we had tape, I would investigate the person then, not just what was in the video. I want to see what was on this tape that you recorded over. Was this a blank tape? Did you record over a birthday party? Did you record over anything on that tape? Okay, if it wasn't a tape, it was your phone. Let me see your phone. Let me see what you recorded on here. Do you have outtakes of this? You know, of ones where you can see the string? Let me see your collection device, right? So then you have to investigate the person. Is anyone doing this behind besides Jaime Maussan? You know, there's a lot of ufologists that make pretty good money off this. Are they on their planes? Is ancient alien crew going down there? You know, this is the type of stuff we're looking for. Physical evidence. They have that sphere, and we should be able to figure out whether that's a hoax or if it's real. Those holes that are drilled into it, we should be able to look close and find out if that was done by U.S. machining or just CNC machines to drill holes into that stuff. Any machinist will look at that. And the thing has scratches on it. Like it's got 100 grit sandpaper went over that. So I don't know. I'd like to see that myself. The pilots. Well, it might be the pilots or the UFO themselves, and there's no pilots in it. Well, I'm curious if the units in Minnesota have caught anything where I'm at. You know, here's what I would like to see. If you live in a flyover state like I used to in South Dakota, take your camera, your phone, whatever you got. If you have an actual camera, put it on a tripod, aim it up at about 75 degrees and let it run for 2 hours. Then come back and watch it. Now, after you do this 7 times, you got 14 hours of footage, you should see something fly by. Not just a plane, a tic-tac. Might fly by from the left to the right, too, by the way. It might fly right through the center, perfectly. Now, if that flies by and you get something after a week of this, it tells you you need to keep doing this. It flew by, it hooked you. You're fishing for it, it's fishing for you. Looks down on somebody over here in Minnesota, in the middle of nowhere. They got a camera up. Let's fly right over to the center. See if we want to watch it. Ah, we got him. It's like UFOs could be like crack. We hooked him. Now he's got to come back and do it again. So we'll doyle it out a sighting from time to time. Try that if you're in the Midwest or anywhere with flyover. It doesn't even have to be America. It could be any place. I guarantee you, these things are all over the place in the sky. Just look at the collection I did earlier on the extrapolation of the orange disc. If I had enough cameras up there, I'd be recording 1 a week, 1 a day. They're all over the fucking place. Hey, there's Rob Heatherly. Good to see you. Yeah, you watch Team Rewind. You know what? No one's talking about Moo anymore. No. So, like, I knew this would happen. About once a week or every week or two, something happens and everyone gets pissy over it because people are pissed off in this field. We all have exhaustion, disclosure exhaustion. It's like the pandemic seems like last year. That was 5 fucking years ago already. And we want this to get over with before all of us die and kick the bucket, right? So no one thinks about Lou anymore. They're all looking at something else to take a dump on. Tether would make it look wobbly. Remember that Russian about 4 podcasts back? I had a sphere compilation. There was this one Russian one to kick it off. That's the one with the trees in the background. And the thing goes up and down like this when it's kind of stationary. And we're like, that's phony. And then we see other sphere video shot with modern phones that's doing the same thing. It needs a lot of data by different camera people so we can pull it together and go, oh, okay, now we have a baseline. It's very, very important to have a baseline of what the fuck is going on. What are these spheres? What are the triangles? What are the orbs? What is the cube within a sphere that's on the East Coast that's not over here on the West Coast? Because none of us are seeing cubes and spheres over here. That's not reported. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what to make of that sphere case. You would think it would fall apart quick, or we would learn about it. But there's a few podcasts that did go down and get a photo with the Bugosphere. Not any brand name leading brand name ufologists, kind of the generic ones like me that don't have huge names in the field. Yeah, remember they were pouring water on it. It was ice cold. No, that should not happen if it's just a machined aluminum ball. And they're still talking about fiber optics on that thing. Yeah, no welding either. Well, I have a dome for this thing that's an R5 dome that started off a flat piece of aluminum like this that was 9 feet wide, and they spun it, and then this tool came in and turned it into an R5 head. One entire spin. And you look at this going, this was a sheet, and you curved it into this, you didn't stamp it. Well, I don't know, machining technology. We have to talk to like a CNC guy and say, how would you make this? Now, I did see, I think Truth Seeker brought this up. This could be uh, a fuel cell from a rocket that they store fuels in something very, very close to the Bugosphere, but not an exact match. Patrick, yeah. So anyway, let's move into the Nellis footage. I don't know what you guys know about this. This came out in 1994. It was captured, I believe, in the Area 51 range. This was brought up on the show, The Program. Now, I have a link in the description above to the program that is on Amazon Prime. It's free to watch if you're a Prime person or subscriber. Me and my wife watched it. Very well done episode with James Fox until they got to uh, the part with the Nellis footage. Then it went, wait, what? What happened? So we're going to play the Nellis footage. This is the entire video. Now, we would not have this video if it wasn't for Jess Fritsch, who's a friend of mine. He's an older guy. He's retired. To give you a little bit of background on him, he worked with Tom, I think his name was Thompson Brown, in the early days. He is more a proponent of man-made UFOs. I have a link to his website up in the description too. On Ecker, he has his own website that just went live recently. He's retired Air Force military guy. He's 77 years old. He's up there in age. Um, he's wonderful to talk to. Let's roll this footage. This is a 4K upscale of the Nellis footage with sound. This is a full video.
About 18 degrees elevation. We don't know what type it is also. degrees elevation, 10.8 degrees or kilometers range. We're going to put a launch up on it anyway and see what happens. It seems to be hovering there. Launch up, 21.3 degrees, 18.5 degrees elevation, 10.9 K. It appears to be going outbound real slow. There's hardly any range velocity. I don't know if this would be an impact or not. We have impact 024, 18.3 degrees elevation, 11K. We'll call this a kill on this unknown aircraft. T1 control doesn't know what type of aircraft it is either. And no ACM, no tactics. That's weird. Strange. Is it outbound? Yeah, it's outbound. It's moving fast if you stop it. Stay for. I don't know what that was.
That was the full Nellis video. I just realized after watching this with these headsets that I got some software that has AI built into the software. It's really cool. I could separate the voices with it from the background garble, and we can hear the voices more clearly, and it'll automatically transcribe what they say. So I might run this through that product. I might, hell, might release that on the channel in a little bit. I've asked a lot of different people about this video, and every time I ask people about it, I get a different response. I've asked people to say, well, they're using military jargon here, like not a flare, not a flare, we have a kill. So what they say might be a kill, might be some target lock to some other people. Apparently, the line that you see scriggling on the bottom is well, I'm hearing radar that's transcribed or trans superimposed over the video. Um, but we got a problem here with this. Uh, okay, here's what I'm hearing. Now you watch the program, and about 2/3 of the way through, they dive into this case with Jason Sands. Now, Jason Sands is a retired military Air Force officer, and he goes on to testify. I don't know to paraphrase. Pretty much what he said here was he was at that range that day. And they were driving on this road with a couple other people, and they saw this craft. Now you just saw landed on the ground. So he said that that craft had landed on the ground, and there was somebody walking. This is all AI imagery anyway. So there was somebody walking that had a military uniform on that was totally clean, perfectly clean, and they shouldn't have. There should have been dust all over the shoes and whatnot, but there wasn't. Um, and the person had big eyes. They said the ears didn't look right. They were inside the head, and had a bluish white complexion, somewhat human but off. Um, let's see. Then uh, he said the thing was asking about some type of element that we don't even have on Earth. Can't remember the name, like trillium or something like that. And then he ended up. So he said it looked like a helicopter was parked, but there was this Nellis craft, and it had a landing runway for it. And then the thing goes. They get out of the jeep, and they talk to him, and then the alien goes running back to the craft. Now I watched that going, well, that's not what I heard. I emailed my friend Jess. Jess is the reason we can even, I think, see the whole video. And according to him, that was a complete lie. He says that there are two U.S. soldiers inside that ship. That is a man-made UFO that is using the Thompson Brown or whatever propulsion system for that. And that is using a lot of electricity. And he was basically saying if with using a positive charge, it goes forward, negative charge, it goes backward. And it kind of goes over my head because I'm not an electrical engineer guy. I'm a software guy. So you want to talk about code, you want to talk about instances and loops and all kinds of shit. I can get into that. But you want to start talking about electricity and I turn into Chrissy Snow from Three's Company. What? Yeah, those anyway, Rob. Yeah, those some of those mummies, from what I'm hearing from X-rays, may be ET. This could be the disclosure we're looking for. The Bugosphere, a whole thing coming from South America. It's largely being ignored by the UFO community, kind of in general, kind of mocking it, and then it doesn't help with Jaime Maussan attached to the damn thing because people have had it with him. A Huey helicopter. No, that's not a helicopter. I don't know what it is, but they. I hear different stories. That there's two people in there, and they were doing a test to see if it could do missile lock on it, and then they jammed the missile lock. That's one story. The other one, Jason Sands, that's ET. Okay, so here in these two stories, one of these guys is wrong. Both of them are Air Force retired. Okay, now Jason Sands says that he'll testify and whatnot, and he has pictures he was in the military, so that has been established. There has been some vetting of him, but this story, you can't vet a story like that. Now, who are the other people in the military jeep? Can he name them? Are they alive? Can they come forward? You would need collaborating witnesses because one guy ain't enough. So I'm asking Jesse or Jess more about it. And he can't tell me because it's classified. And then we hit the damn wall. You guys hear that a lot when you're talking with retired military. They lived a life that I didn't. That they got inside of these programs to a certain extent, and they have some knowledge of this. And you hear it's classified. So then what we have is you come up against the trust me bro wall. Well, I know this. Well, can you tell me? No, it's top secret. I could wish I could tell you, but I can't. Man, are we just effing tired of hearing that? So I counter with this. This is my. It didn't work. I tried it. How old are you? 77. And and you said that your family members, your siblings, brothers and sisters, they died at like 74. So you're getting up there where you're going to pass away, and you know it. Why do you give a fuck? Why don't you just tell everybody what you know and let them come arrest you? They have so far have dragged nobody into Leavenworth for telling UFO secrets. Nobody so far. You know, when I turned 50, I ran out of fucks to give. And if I had classified information and I'm made it into my 70s, that shit's all in a book, publishable on death with the videotape testimony and everything. But I'd probably get on a podcast and say, "Come arrest me, bro. Come for me. These are the top secret things. Here's what's at Area 51. Come for me." But no one is doing this. They all say, "Oh, I know stuff," and it's behind a "trust me, bro" wall. So to counter that, you go, "You like alcohol? How about I come over with a case, and get these people just sloshy ass drunk and see if they'll start." Oh yeah, this one time, frustrating. We all have burnout. We all have disclosure burnout of this shit. Um, so who's right? Jason Sands, Jess. Um, let's look at at his site here. This is Jess's website. It's up in the description. It's accurestart.com. And he's got a nice website here. He goes into electrogravitics, and that's Jess over here on the right, on stage a while back. So he's out there. He's not hidden. This is not a guy. He's been around, and he's been out here, and he's got his background. Here's him vetting himself, and he's a nice guy. You can email him. You can talk to him on the phone. Um, so you can look at his website. Now, he does have some videos on here of his lifter systems, and his lifter systems are lifting videos off the ground using electricity. So if you watch some of the videos in here, he gets into how Vega aircraft became skunk works, and he was around. Now, this guy was born about during the Roswell crash, right? So if you want, there's how I got the Nellis footage that we watched. And he's the one who told me that this is radar, this loop here. Um, so this is him giving a lecture. And he mentions the people who leaked the video went to jail. So I believe he has a second generation copy that we're looking at. So I took his second generation copy, upscaled it. Now I'm thinking I'm going to put it through DaVinci Studio and fix the audio, and that we'll be able to hear what they're saying better, and then we can get a transcription of what they're saying. So that's Jesse's website. So either Jesse's right, or maybe Jason Sands is right. Maybe they're both wrong. I don't know. I don't know what that was. We still have never heard from the operators of that camera. Now, one thing that Jess tells us, or me, that I'm telling you guys. Now think about this. Jason said that they jammed the controls. He said he saw him on another podcast I did. He said Jason Sands said they jammed the UFO jammed the controls of the operators controlling the camera. He said that's impossible because it's a joystick controlled Pelco system that's analog. It wasn't digital back then. So how did they jam digital controls in '94? They couldn't. So maybe Jason got, you catch him in one of these lies and he's fucked. And there's some other stuff I've heard about it. So I don't know. Billy Maya, what do you think? Not sure where you're going with that. Yeah, Billy seemed like he was legit. And what's amazing is he's still alive. right? I heard of him when I was a kid. And I go, hey, there's an old man who looks like ZZ Top with one arm who takes amazing photographs. Now I'm old and he's old. How does that work? But yeah, it seemed like some of the earlier ones were the disc one around that tree. I don't know how he pulled that off. But then the wedding cake photo fucked it all up. And another one, Sir James Anthony doesn't know who Billy Meyer is. Was hiking in Switzerland on another one of those mountains. He took a series of 35 millimeter photographs. He had these developed. 10 years later, he finds out about Billy Meyer. He's got the same. James Anthony had the same disc ship in his photos, so it's a different person taking photos. So that maybe, but then people are so drilled in on Bob Lazar, on Meyer, that they don't want to hear anything that messes up their own narrative and belief system of that. I don't know how Billy. I don't know how Billy would have done that. Yeah, the Nazca mummies, when they start doing X-rays of those, and they start seeing dental work, and some of those might be real. Some of those might be real. I don't know. I haven't studied those as much as I probably should. But yeah, Masan. I wish there was somebody besides Masan. I would like to see George Knapp go down there and cover this because people trust George. He's kind of like the voice of reason in a room of yelling and chaos. You can usually get a good solid grip of what George is doing. I don't know what that Nellis thing is. They say it looked like a chopped up helicopter, whatever that is. But yeah, I heard that about Jason Sands that he did the 20 and back. Now, does somebody have pictures of him when he was supposedly missing? Like, who can vouch for that? Family members say, hey, Jason disappeared for 20 years and then came back. You need some supporting evidence for something like that. That's a huge claim. I don't believe in big claims need big evidence. They just need evidence. Hey, good to see you, Uncle Dave. Now, let's move into God, the end section of this thing here. UFO disclosure is just fucking dead. It wasn't even a thing at all. It's dead on a congressional level. Um, Arrow's a joke. They went through a couple of directors now. They only put out balloon videos and stuff that's easy to debunk. The FBI is after uh, they're after Arrow's money. And now we have an FBI UAT uh, task force or something. I don't know about that. That's probably a lie because I have an FBI file on me that I saw myself back in 1993. They had my abductions in there. They knew all the people, and I was in an experiencer group in Sacramento, California in 91, 92 era. They were tapped by the CIA. They tapped all of our phones. They collected this data, and they gave it to the FBI. How do I know? I read it on my fucking goddamn FBI report. It said that this information was collected by the CIA and it was given to the FBI. It said it in plain English. That's against the law because the CIA can't do domestic spying, but they do it anyway. And if I ordered a copy of this, that would be blacked out. Why is it blacked out? Because it's illegal. So anyway, uh, there's nothing going on with Arrow. They only put out videos that aren't good. They did admit that they have some triangle videos, but they're not showing us. Now they're saying for an adversary. We had the Wall Street Journal come out with a hit piece that said this the entire thing with ufology is Air Force hazing, where they'll tell a person, look, this is alien. All the stuff we have is alien. Now sign these papers and never talk about it. And then we'll test you to see if you talked about it. That's bullshit. I mean, the Wall Street Journal is who the fuck even reads it, right? Nobody in ufology does. We need nerds that do UFOdap, that do collections, and we're really scarce. So the number of us that sit there and go, let me read the Wall Street Journal this morning, I would say that's about zero. There's probably no people who read the Wall Street Journal for whatever reasons. not in the UFO field, but they put out a hit piece. Well, the Wall Street Journal is one of these places, like most of them, that if they toe the intelligence line, then they can get a story later out of the intelligence community. But if they came out saying, hey, you guys ain't going to believe it, UFOs are real, the government's lying to us, there goes their access to the CIA, there goes their access to, like right now, they probably want to do a story of what's going on in Israel. There goes their access to that. So all these establishment media places have to toe that same goddamn line. So that problem, and what's the local media probably going to go, yeah, the Wall Street Journal says it's all a bunch of shit. They report that, but they don't report, well, we have the spear. You ever see it, the Bugosphere in the local news? You ever hear about the mummies on the local news? No, but I bet you probably heard about that Wall Street Journal report, right? So there's nothing going to go on with disclosure coming out of the government. So there's a large subset of people in ufology, they need to hear from the government what reality is. They don't know what reality is. They need the federal government to tell them. They don't know. They don't, are ghosts real, or Bigfoot real, or UFOs, aliens, the mummies, the Egyptians? I don't know. We need the government. And if the government told them, no one fucking believed them anyway. So it's a catch-22. What we need is some goddamn common sense and science coming in here. So there's no disclosure coming from those guys, right? And let's go look at who the main people are here that could give us disclosure, that are doing the nerd stuff. This is the UAPX website. All right, this is it right now. And yeah, they have their main people, Captain Kirk, Travis on there, right? As if Travis is part of UAPX. He's not. Let's look at the team. This is the current team right here, right? Kevin Newth, Dr. Cicely Levy, Dr. Matthew Sadakis, Candace Segar, Ralph Segar, maybe a husband and wife team, Dr. Ben Placid, Mr. Richard Hoffman, and Dr. Ben Koleski, right? Where the fuck is Jeremy McGowan? Oh, Jeremy McGowan got kicked out. Finally. Gary Voorhees, Jason Turner. Now, what happened to Dave Altman and Dave Mason? They split. They got the fuck out of there. They read the tea leaves. They're both friends of mine. They don't have nothing good to say about UAPX. That's why they quit. When Dave quit, he had all the gear. They don't have any gear. UAPX has nada. They have no gear. Nothing. They don't have shit. I got more gear laying on the fucking floor in this room than they have in totality. Let's go back to their shitty website. So that's the team. What are their capabilities? Oh, here's some nice graphics. Yep, nice graphics. Where's your videos? There's no videos on here. Expeditions. All right, here's their expeditions. The Catalina Island. That was funded by Caroline Corey's life savings. Skinwalker Ranch. They got invited to a one day there. You know what happened when they went to Skinwalker Ranch? Jeremy McGowan's shitty car broke down because he doesn't know how to do electrical worth of shit, and then he blamed it on UAP. UAP broke my shitty car. Nope, your shitty car's just a shitty car. So eventually they asked him. Jeremy was so toxic, no one wanted to work around them. Partnerships. Nope, nothing. Affiliates? Well, half of their team is already in SCU. UFOdap? Well, good, they got something. And then news. Let's look at the news. Notice there's no video up here. There's nothing. They don't have any video. So SCU published the paper, and no one read it. So they didn't do any expeditions on their own. If you look, half of the people in UAPX have doctors next to their name. They don't have any expeditions that they went on that someone else didn't pay for. So what the hell are we facing here? We're facing paycheck to paycheck doctors who can't afford, they don't have any fuck you money saved up to go on or paid time off? Do doctors not get 2 weeks vacation a year? You can use that to go on a vacation and skywatch with your team, but they don't do that unless somebody pays every fucking thing like Caroline Corey did. They got nothing. They got nothing. So they're dead in the water. This uh, expedition to Catalina Island happened like 6 years ago. They haven't done nothing. I was in an email chain with them when we were doing an expedition with Tim Sr., and they were like, how do you guys fund this? Like, we fund it ourselves, you know? If you have to, you do without for a little bit so you can come up with some extra money to fund it yourself. The concept of using your own money is alien to these people. If they're looking for aliens, it's how about use your own fucking cash to fund your own fucking shit? Let's go back to the shitty website. So that's it for news. How they operate. Let's look at their forum. Oh, you can log in here if you want. Sign up. Let's look at their forum. See what they got. All right. General discussion, 123, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. All right. Okay, let's just check out their general discussion. All right. Have you had any luck? Well, let's see. Oh, this guy had some luck. When it comes to choosing the best Forex trading platforms in India, traders in 2025 agreed to use WinFox. What the fuck? Spam. When did that happen? Right? 2 days ago? Let's keep going down. 3 days ago, Asian spam. 5 days ago, spam. May 30th. May 27th, spam from China. Spam, spam. May, spam. There's not one message on here at all that has to do with UFOs. Sports gambling, February. So this website that they don't even use is full of spam going back 4 months. They don't even, so if you left a message there, they wouldn't even log in to read it. What the fuck? Why do you even have a website? There's no expeditions. They're doing nothing. I hate throwing them under the bus, but you fucking gave me the keys to drive over you with this shit. Get your shit together or quit. You're Skywatchers in name only. All you guys are paycheck to paycheck doctors. You don't put your own money in the field. You don't fund your own fucking expeditions. You have no gear. I have more gear than your entire UAPX combined. I have more sightings. I played more sightings just on this episode than you have in your entire collection. This is pathetic. Find a new hobby. Maybe you should look for Sasquatch or something. You have better luck there. Now, let's go to Skywatching. The other guys, the other white meat. So this is the Skywatcher website. So far, nothing. Just some papers. Now, this one right here, Class 1, probably a cardboard pizza box. Class 2, Tic Tac, everyone knows what that is. A blob, we've seen these on videos, I've seen that. This is a ball light. I probably taped a bunch of those on thermal. This is most likely a bird. This is just, again, a star, a blob, not a ship, just like a red, say the red UFO that we've seen. Steve Brown has captured this, just a ball of energy. The jellyfish, a balloon, a hornet, 2 balloons tied together, and the egg. And no good videos. They haven't put out any HD files, any 4K captures, raw, nothing. They don't put out shit, but them sitting at places, and they're funded by dark money, right? They haven't reached out to the Tedesco brothers. Science Bob they haven't talked to me. They haven't talked to anybody in the community that's been doing this. But they come in with their helicopters thinking, we're at the top of the pier. We barely have any footage. We have 9 classifications figured out. They don't know shit. They're 6-month Skywatchers making fucking rookie mistakes. So we're kind of fucked. I'm one of the few people doing this that does it live, that has footage, that shares it with it. But beyond this and the people in the crowd and Discord and UFOdap, that's all there is. That's all there is. Congress is not coming to save you with disclosure. Skywatcher is not coming to save you. UAPX has, well, they never had anything to begin with. That's where we're at. That's the harsh goddamn reality. The good news is there's UFOs all over the place. You just got to get off. You got to, find them. Find them. They're up there. They're up there. So I'm just banging the fucking table. Get the fucking work. Let's get something done. We're going through an active flat. The fucking things are even landed in Colombia. What more do we need? That's my rant on this. Kind of pisses me off. I hate doing the solo. I need some fucking help. God damn, I need fucking help. So, what do you guys think? It's 2 hours here. It's flown by. Yeah, I happen to speak millennial, right? Honestly, that wedding cake's a little bit mid, and yeah, the whole thing is sus. So I don't know. Don't have cred. That's phone talk. I learned to speak a little bit of millennial. So, what do you guys narrative? Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust Jason Sands. I think he got in the program and then he came out on a podcast and said the 20 and back, and then I don't know. I'd like to meet James Fox. He's a good filmmaker. His stuff holds up. Yeah, it holds up over time. He makes pretty good films when he does put them out. I don't know if he ever put out that one about that Virginia Red Devil alien. That's an interesting thing. Yeah, this has been around a long time, and it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. We go through waves of when they come and what's active and what's not. And we are in an active wave. I mean, I filmed that orange disc and other stuff, and I'm just dumbass software programmer spending my retirement money. I want to be able to retire. I have to work until I drop dead because I'm spending it all on this shit. I could be sitting in Hawaii. I could have a fucking Ferrari like Magnum, a big Magnum mustache and shit. But no, I'm doing this. Doing this. But skywatching for humanity, it seems like. Yeah, Skywatcher's a shady ass group with a bad reputation out the gate. So they're really going to have to come up with some really, really good footage. But then they wouldn't release it. It would be in a compilation backed by a lot of trust me, bro. A lot of trust me, bro. So yeah, that kind of wraps this up. Kind of 9 months sober. 9 months from celebrating, drinking fucking coffee and tea. And all that money I save doesn't go on beer, can go on this stupid shit. Going to go over to Shields tomorrow. I'm going to buy an M18 pistol, U.S. version of what the military has. And suppressors. They sell nice little, they call them silencers, but we call them suppressors in the gun world. They sell suppressors too. So need something to put in my van. So if I'm out, skywatching and someone comes around, they give me your shit. Well, they're gonna get some shit. Won't get the gear. So we'll see you guys next time. I don't know what the hell happens week to week. Who's gonna be the person that'll be the target on Twitter or whatever social media next? But I'm hoping to get more collections. The UFOdaps will be running, so I'm gonna go through those. I typically run them about 3 days, and then I go through the files, delete the bad stuff, keep the good stuff, and we'll see if anything's coming. UFOdap is a good system to see, are we still in an active flap? Are we catching things, or is it just birds and aircraft? But the new UFOdap, I do like when it's working good. It doesn't seem to be recording shit. Like a lot of birds and a lot of garbage stuff we're going to delete. When it records, it's something that seems to be interesting. It is collecting, one last look here before we sign off on this collection. Yes, it is naming these before, so you do know where to go back and look through some of these folders. So this is interesting. I mean, Ron Oltz is not a skywatcher on my level, but he programs like he is. So he's like my brother from another mother, man. Let's see. I'm gonna do one last wrap up. Let's see what's going on in the NVR system here. The sun has went down. One of the best times I'm finding is during sunset from like 6 to 8. That's what I'm finding. I need to get, and I really need to get Chris on here. Chris has got tons of footage. He's got tons of footage. I think it shows you just a hair of his footage, but if you guys want to see his footage, there's a description and a link to the Apple TV show that I'm on, Chris is on, Clive's on, Dan, AZ Motherload is in some of that. It's a great show, a lot of footage in there. It probably will be on free after it goes through whatever streaming courses and shit. Yeah, you're welcome, Dave. Sobriety's a motherfucker. I've kicked cigarettes, kicked alcohol. I'm trying to kick the skin falling off. I'm not winning. Fortunately, I'm not winning. I'm losing right now. But it goes away. The skin falls off, and then it's currently falling off my feet, or not falling my legs and stuff. First it turns into alligator skin. I feel like I got alligator skin, like it felt bumpy. That's because the top layer is disruption that's coming off. It's a disease. If you look it up, it's called PRP. Type PRP skin, and you'll see pictures in Google. You'll go, Jesus fucking Christ, this is nasty. That's why I wanted to walk in front of a train. So they finally gave me some they put me on a cancer drug. So doing everything I fucking can for this field, man. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. Might see you on some social media soon. Rob was here. True Seeker was here. BEP was here. Sin wasn't here. Analog Kid, thanks. I haven't seen you before, but remember, hit that like, subscribe. I always have footage on here. I have footage I analyze or 4K footage, thermal footage, whatever. I collect the best stuff, and I keep up the good work. I hope I inspire some of you guys to go out there and follow in these footsteps. I don't expect anybody to go balls to the wall and buy camera. Just I have good lessons on 4K Skywatching, tech lessons you can go into and learn some stuff you can get, some stuff you can't get. I am trying to get the guy who has my binoculars who shot 2 blue orbs. I studied his footage. I sent it to him. I haven't heard back. He's got a great capture system. So we're going to roll out with a new outro video here of a little bit of the moon, a little bit of the skies. I'm Tom King. This is 4K Skywatching on Friday night. Appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next Friday. And it's a privilege to talk to you. Thanks for watching. That orange just got me so paranoid. I saved the entire first week of June, and I started running this footage through UFOdap looking for more orange saucers.